What's up, everybody? Welcome to the second DevWars podcast. Today we have, again, Terrence and Don, as well as myself, of course. All right, so we kind of want to follow up with what we talked about last week, which was the whole, thing that happened between Amazon and Google. So, funny enough, they actually resolved their issue by re-adding their products to Amazon.
The petty fight is over, guys. It's
finally
over.
Who won in the sandbox? Who's king of the sandbox now?
I mean, I guess Google won. That's the official statement is Google won because Amazon put their products back on after Google threatened them one more time to remove their stuff, and now we're finally back. It's like nothing ever happened.
So we did it, guys.
the high school girls are friends again, man.
They watched our podcast and they're like, yeah, you know what? It is petty.
Everybody's taking words from us, man. It's good. We got good stuff. Anyway, so speaking of winning, net neutrality, we just lost.
Oh, yeah, it's always
you win some and you lose some as a consumer.
We're losing them real hard right now. So that's what today's podcast is going to be mainly about. That's going to be our juicy topic is net neutrality.
And we can't not talk about net neutrality.
Yeah, we got to milk this thing, man. we got to milk this thing, get some content out of it.
We really want to dive deep
before everything's blocked on the internet. We might as well talk about it,
Yeah, watch, imagine the podcast gets shut down. Ajit Pai, his face comes up. He's like, lol.
Oh my gosh.
This might be, guys, if you don't fight for net neutrality, this could be the end of DevWars, okay? If you want to see Season 3, contact your congressman right now. Type battle to 847. No, I'm kidding.
What if we use net neutrality as our excuse to cancel DevWars? Like, well, guys, we were gonna do it, but
this net neutrality thing is really killing us.
It's hard to keep up with. Yeah, anyway, this is a lot to keep up with. I don't know, we had to do a lot of research to get ourselves ready for this podcast because we all thought we knew.
Yeah,
there's
and even now, I feel like there's still a lot of things that we can know about net neutrality. But hopefully, some of the things that we talk about you didn't know about net neutrality, or we raised some good points because we definitely want to talk about some counter argument perspectives too, so we can really get a good understanding of what this whole thing is all about.
So why don't we start by just in layman's terms, what even is net neutrality, and why are we? I just unmuted the stream. Whoops. Okay, so what is net neutrality in layman's terms, and why are we fighting for it to stay? And it just got repealed, if you didn't know. So it's really bad. We're in a bad way right now. There are next steps, but let's talk about what it is. So net neutrality is just the idea of a free and open internet where there aren't fast lanes. You can't charge companies for using more bandwidth. It's a free and open internet. Nobody's getting charged extra or whatever. But I guess that's not really a good explanation. So really what is at risk is you having to pay more out of pocket for services that you're very likely to use because inherently things that you use are probably used by a lot of other people. They get a lot of traffic. So that's what an ISP would want to create what's, quote unquote, a fast lane for. So for example, a lot of people watch Netflix. They use up 20, I don't know,
I think it's
huge
30% of the internet at peak US hours.
Think about that, man. 30% of all that internet traffic is just Netflix. So, I mean, all these ISPs want to create a way for them to make money off of these guys because they're taking up a lot of their bandwidth and they feel they should be compensated for it.
And also, we of course have to pay for that too if we want to take that bandwidth as well.
Yeah, right. So they're gonna, instead of they're either gonna charge Netflix or they're gonna charge the consumers or they're gonna do both. They're probably gonna do
either
both.
Have so much options.
Yeah, either way it goes always to the consumer because if they charge Netflix, then your Netflix subscription is gonna be higher.
Exactly.
To compensate. Yeah.
True.
So consumers lose in the end. Off the bat.
I think the best way also to know what net neutrality is we've been under net neutrality for some time. So that's another way to kind of gauge what the internet would be like under net neutrality. And if you like how things are, then I mean, that's one way to kind of understand it as well. But like to know that it's gonna change, like, that's just scary. Like the internet's gonna change, like the way we run it.
Yeah, we've like, I mean, all of us, I think, and everybody in here can definitely say that like probably the majority of their life has been on the internet, and to have something that's so much a part of you be threatened is like scary, because I don't know, it's like it's something so close to you, and it's going to be taken away, something you love, something that got you where you are today, and it's just being taken away. It's kind of horrible that they even are considering this. But so to their defense,
They did far more than consider it. It's gone.
See you later, guys.
Yeah.
But so to their defense, I guess you guys want to go into like a quick counter argument and just see where it takes us. Like, I guess I'll play devil's advocate, and you guys fight me on this.
Real quick, before we get into that,
Yeah.
I just want to read these two comments real quick. So GT asks, can you talk about if and how the majority internet users who are just regular noob users watch YouTube and read news will be affected by net neutrality repeal? And I hope we touch on this too during this whole counter argument spiel. But I just want to say that there were a lot of people that were against net neutrality who have no idea what they're talking about, especially on the internet. And I think the majority of them are people who barely use the internet too.
Right.
And it makes sense for them to, like, I've seen, like, I'm sure you guys seen the images already, or maybe you haven't, of the way these ISPs are planning on splitting up the internet, and in terms of categorizing different things like that you could buy, like,
Yeah, so for instance, you can buy like a gaming package or like a social media package and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
Exactly, yes. And so, the whole idea is that if it's considered a utility class 1, then they're able to charge you based on your usage, which makes sense it makes sense, but it's not good in practice, especially with the internet. Like, it's much more than just like an entertainment thing, like there's so much. The internet is like what's going to take us to the next level. Yeah.
It is quite literally a utility. It is, you know what I mean? It is the highest form of utility, I think.
It's like it's like a transcendent of a utility. It's like something else. Like, if we could call it something else, like it's life, dude.
It's a medium. It's literally a way of communicating with people, and for them to take that away is like, it's almost censorship. And if they have any plans going forward with censorship, is really taking this to a whole other level. They're taking away a form of communication, which is downright censorship. It's not even like, let's say they're not even taking away. It's like, considering with the YouTube adpocalypse, it's what they did. Is that considered censorship because they're not putting ads on videos that are kind of controversial? I think this is also a form of censorship by putting a barrier, because they're offering a barrier to communication, and that's kind of censorship in a way. You know what I mean? Imagine you had to pay more to like get your news or whatever. I mean, that's just one way of censoring if somebody doesn't have the money for that. I mean, it's still in place that people have to pay for internet, but I think the current plan system with you pay for how fast you want your internet to be, and then it's open from there on, that makes a ton of sense. I understand that they're charging for more usage by doing those plans. Make sense. You just charge for how fast you want, because some people, your average user, don't care about how fast their internet. They're only accessing small things that are good enough for like YouTube or whatever they need to do.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, if you want it, you can buy it.
And someone who doesn't use the internet at all, like, I mean, I could see how they're like, oh yeah, why would I pay more if I barely use internet? I just need internet for this and this, And
Right.
so I feel like those are also the people who might be against net neutrality for those reasons as well.
Yeah, and also when people hear the word like government owned, it's almost like a drawback. But in this case, government owned, it works for you, not against you.
Exactly.
I think a lot of like people that kind of align themselves to the left are more like they want the government to be involved because they can regulate it, but it doesn't work when the government's corrupt. You can't do that when the government's corrupt as a heck, and you got all these people that bipartisan, all this jazz going on. Nothing's going to get done, but in this case, they're just repealing it because they're sick in the head and they want money. It has nothing to do with the people. It's not by the people for the people. It's just them trying to make money. It's I don't know if you guys went on Reddit that day that everybody posted a picture of their congressman and how much money they got paid to repeal net neutrality.
Oh, I didn't see that. No.
Yeah, it was sick, man. It was sick in the head.
That's disgusting. I mean, we're already seeing like how these companies think just based off of that too.
How do you mean?
Like, I mean, the fact that they would essentially pay somebody to get their way like that. I mean,
the lobbying. Yeah. No, my God. I could go. I mean, I don't want to get too politics. You know what I mean?
Same.
But like the lobbying off the bat, I don't know. That's iffy.
Yeah, and like, so I really want us to get into what you were saying we should get into, Terrence. Like you playing devil's advocate, because I think it's good for all of us to see both sides, and this is also inspired by the fact that I recently had found out that one of my family members was against net neutrality. And it blew my world because I couldn't imagine my own family member, being against net neutrality. Because, the thing is that my family is, I trust my family. And it's like, they're not out to ruin, end the world, They're not out to do that. So somewhere they were convinced that this is a good idea. And so that inspired me, and as well as all of us, to look out and see, like, well, are there any good, valid reasons for why we shouldn't be under net neutrality? We have to be open-minded, make sure that we really understand the situation. And so that's why we're going to play a little devil's advocate here for a little bit.
All right. So let's start by saying, all right, I'm an ISP, somebody who is using much more of our bandwidth should definitely be charged more. You guys, the big boys, are blocking my network. Why do you guys think that you should be paying the same amount as somebody who doesn't use any internet at all? Like, you're blocking my network. Why should I not be able to charge you more? Go.
Dang, I mean, that's a tough one right there, because, I mean, it's something, it makes sense to me, but I think the things that come with it is essentially we're giving them the power to, like, do whatever they want, and I think that's the only answer to that. Like, it's either we give them the
fight
power.
myself.
Okay.
So the big thing that other people are mad about is all right, bandwidth, right? People are using up their network. If they're having problems with that, you agree that Don and I were just talking about this, that it's time for them to upgrade their network, right?
Yeah.
So they were forced to do that. A lot of ISPs were forced to upgrade their network because they couldn't handle the amount of bandwidth that Netflix was using. They actually, Don told me they sued Netflix, right? They tried or something, but they couldn't.
They tried to throttle Netflix.
By the way, guys, that's not allowed under net neutrality.
Yeah, that is no bueno. So, so it's time for them to upgrade their network, right? So let's say our awesome government gives out $400 billion for all these ISPs. They just give them money. It's like, hey, update it because this is the thing that people need, and we recognize that. So instead of putting it on you, let's put it on the government because we have money, and that's what we have. That's what we pay taxes for. So things like this can happen. So all these ISPs take $400 billion and they do nothing with it, and they don't get in trouble. So.
Okay, that's actually that's a good argument. Because really, I think it sounds like the main issue is just mismanagement and I mean, this is actually a thing that they were given a lot of money to upgrade. And we paid for this out of our taxes too. I think it was estimated that that's about $7,000 from every household. That's a lot of money.
Oh my God.
Dang. Yeah, that's insane.
Oh man, the mental math on that one. That's
is money. I want my money.
And these ISPs they pocketed it because, what's their incentive to actually, do anything with it? I mean, they should just keep it. They'll make more money keeping it than they would spending it and actually improving our internets.
Isn't it amazing that they didn't get in trouble? Like,
it is
what's
amazing.
Up with that?
I really think, and that's the real issue here, is that, it's just, these ISPs aren't. I feel like we need extra rules, on how these ISPs should be. But that's still, and that's more toward net neutrality. That's actually not against it. So, but of course, I mean, if we're having trouble just getting net neutrality around, keeping it around, like, I mean, I'm sure adding more clauses and stuff to how ISPs should be regulated is definitely going to be much harder to, pass. But
so let's bring up the other point of, I think, the guy that passed it, or the guy that got appointed to the chairman of the FCC. He made up a point that said ISPs can't be competitive because of net neutrality.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
Can't wait to dive into this. So, okay,
please,
go ahead,
yes.
Don. Please, you want to just take this?
No, I'm opening the floor.
All right, are you ready? Okay, all right. So let's go back to the early days of the great United States of America. All right, westward expansion. Yeah, when things used to be good, and men were men.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I'll send them the picture of me in drag. Hold on, put that.
Yeah, men were men, and they didn't have computers. Like people sitting in closets talking to the computer,
drinking all day. But anyway, so westward expansion. You guys remember we built that really big train? LOL. No, we had a railroad going across the entire United States of America, and one company owned, a particular railroad, and that was like the one. That was the only one. So they didn't have any competition. I don't know if any of you guys have taken ever microeconomics, but that's what we call a monopoly. That's when they own the market and they can adjust the price to whatever they want because they have no competition. There is nothing to block them from making it however much they want. So nothing's going to stop them. That perfectly applies to what we have going on right now because these ISPs, just like these railroads, inherently are monopolies. There's not competition. People are saying it's going to drive competition, but just like the railroad utility, they mark that as a utility. Power is a utility. These are things that are inherently monopolies. That's why we do things like this, why we classify them as utilities. That's why we can regulate them. And that's why this should be regulated. I don't understand. I mean, okay, obviously, I just want to, real quick, obviously, to anybody, this makes sense. Even to Ajit Pai, that little guy, this makes sense to him. But they're all just, it's corrupt. It has nothing to do with what's right. It has to do with how much they're getting paid. It's, you know what I mean? I'm sure they all know what's right, but they don't care, Yeah.
Yeah. Perfect. I think, so let's put it like this. So the reason why these ISPs are a monopoly it's mainly because many people don't have a choice of who their ISP is based on where they live. They might have two choices, but most of everyone only has one choice on who to go from, or who to choose from. So, would you be okay about repealing net neutrality if you had 20 ISPs to choose from?
Yes.
I mean, I think there would be less scare because, like, I think the biggest thing is, like, they say if it's, if internet's for the free market, then that means that, we'll have more investments that would be made into them, but the thing is, and it'll be better for us. That's what the counter argument is against net neutrality. But like, we don't really have choices to begin with. So like, if a company screws us, we really have no choice. Like if Comcast one day, some places only have Comcast. If they're like just one day, we don't like YouTube, they're a competitor, or that we have a partnership with someone else. We're blocking them or we're throttling them.
Yep.
You have no choice.
There's literally nothing you can do. And there were Verizon throttled Netflix. Remember, they got in trouble for that. They throttled Netflix. You could see if you went to Netflix, or some guy did a real test to see if they were really throttling Netflix, and he determined for sure Verizon was throttling them. It's really sick. I was going to talk about one of the things someone wrote in the chat was, where are you going to run all that wire with 20 ISPs? Exactly. It's not feasible. It's not meant to be, more than too many ISPs in a given community, right? So, like I said, it's going to be a monopoly. Or let's say Steven said, if there were 20 ISPs, I think even then, I kind of take back what I said, yes, because then we're going to get oligopolied, which means, okay, so let's say like best case scenario, we have like let's say you have 4 ISPs to choose from. Odds are those are going to be the United States biggest ISPs that are in your area, like Comcast, all the big boys, right? And that they're gonna collaborate on how best to screw you over. It's not gonna, you know what I mean? It's never gonna be.
So you mean like raising their prices, like talking in a closed like room and raising the prices altogether?
Exactly.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that happens a lot. There's like this, I don't know, I'm taking microeconomics right now, so I'm big into this, LOL. There's this thing called like game theory, where you have to like, choose like, you have to best choose to align yourself with your competitors so that you can all equally screw over your consumers.
They teach you this in college?
Yeah, oh my god. No, it's kind of good. They teach you how evil it really is and how they're all just trying to maximize profit. That's what they show you. Like, okay, at this point is how you would maximize profit with no thought into like how to screw like how much you're screwing the consumer over.
Wow. Yeah, I guess that's good to learn.
And like we've already seen like how these ISPs can talk to each other and be in their own interest, because with what we were talking about, how they were granted that $400 billion to improve our internet, they totally worked together on keeping that. No one audited each other. No one.
Oh yeah.
Like they they coordinated that very well, because they're like, hey, why don't we just pocket this? So like, I guarantee, like, even if we had no net neutrality, which I mean, it's looking that way.
Here we go.
Like these ISPs are totally gonna
completely gone.
They're totally gonna. I still can't believe it. It's insane. It's
yeah,
like,
I really did. I was like coming up to this. I was every single time. So this was happening for a while. If people didn't know this, many times they tried repealing it, but people fought back hard, and it actually they delayed the vote or whatever. And so yeah, this was a long time coming. We didn't like this isn't out of nowhere.
As soon as Trump pretty much got elected, it was almost certain that this was going to be a topic of discussion, because he already made in his statements that Trump, that is, that he would be appointing a new
FCC.
Yeah.
And the guy who was part of the two of three votes, he actually was a part of the FCC while Obama was in office too, and he was against net neutrality. He just got overruled at the time, but now.
Yes.
So, do you guys think that the reason? So, like, they gave the $400 billion out or whatever to upgrade everything. Do you think that like these big companies lobbying them is the reason they didn't get audited, or do you think it was by chance, or do you think they'll get screwed in the future, or like what?
From my research, the agreement that was in place had it wasn't solid enough. There was no real terms that could be acted upon in case there was any failure.
Oh my god, that's so gross, man. So they didn't even put anything in the contract. It's like, hey, if you don't properly utilize
I mean, I'm sure they did, but these companies have so much money, they found loopholes and stuff.
Jeez, man. I wish I could be like one of those really good lawyers, just so I could like see what it's like on their side, like how easy it is to screw over. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I want to like hire a lawyer one day that can just like tell me everything in layman's terms, like you know what I mean. Just like what happened? Like what went on?
It's just insane, man.
So let's go back to this helps drive competition, which is not true whatsoever. But
you're right.
So let's talk about how this destroys competition for small businesses. So let's say,
oh god, yeah.
Yeah, let's say if you're a new startup company and you're working on video streaming. That means you have to pay the ISP, or not even one ISP, like 5 ISPs. Hey, can you add me to this package? Or hey, can you please, not throttle my business? So right now, Netflix is already doing this. They're paying the ISPs to, hey, not throttle this connection. So, and Netflix is big. They have money. They have consumers
Right.
that are willing to pay more for the service. But as for like a small business or like a startup, this completely sucks.
Yeah, you're out of
Yeah.
the game. There's no way in.
Yeah.
Dude, like, imagine. Do you think like Twitch would have succeeded like in its early days if like stuff like this started happening?
Definitely not. There's no
Yeah.
way.
Imagine, dude.
Because Amazon could be like, "Oh, that's a good idea," and then just do it, and then just and then just throttle them,
dude.
Well, no, not even throttle.
block them.
Well,
I don't
Amazon,
know. Like they have so
well,
much
no, Amazon can't do that, but they can
pay.
throw money at the ISPs. Like they have that money.
Right.
Dude, oh, they could
So much
even do
money.
a thing. Imagine ISPs started doing a thing. No, not ISPs. Sorry. Imagine so like let's say Amazon did their own version of Twitch instead of buying them out, right? Imagine they paid the ISPs to give the consumers their content for no charge.
Yeah. Oh no, that's gonna happen.
So that way you have to pay to use the smaller businesses' content. So the small businesses and the consumers are losing for the competition. So
Yeah.
it's oh my god. So it's gonna fail. There's no way it will succeed. I can't imagine a circumstance where this succeeds.
Yeah, it's crazy how like this monopoly breeds more monopoly. It's like,
Yeah.
like big business can just crush the competition with this with no net neutrality.
In a weird way, isn't it kind of thrilling to be living in such a like high octane time right now? Like this is really scary. Like I
It's
don't
very
know.
scary.
It's exciting. I don't know. I'm doing all I can.
And I honestly, like, I thought, because, with all this support we've been getting from, like, Reddit and the internet and, like, just the way we've been talking about net neutrality and stuff, I really believed that we were going to win. Like, it just looked so promising. Like, we're all coming together and we're going to fight this.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it definitely goes back to the point that you made earlier about, like, your family being, against net neutrality. Like, yes, in our group, in our like bubble, in our friend groups, we have so much support. Everyone's, for net neutrality.
Yeah.
But then you step out of that and you talk to like family members. You talk to maybe a random person on the street. Well, probably not San Francisco, but if you go to like the the southern states and you talk
Arizona, LOL.
to you probably talk to someone randomly on the street and they're like, I don't care about net neutrality. I want less government.
Yeah,
Like, why is the government stepping in?
Yeah, that's true.
A lot of people get. I see this. I see it in myself too. That when you're ignorant about a subject and somebody brings it up to you, you get really defensive and you kind of lash out against them. And you're like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I'm for this because it's government hands off. You don't know what you're talking about. So ignorance is kind of making this even worse. Like a lot of people, but even 3 out of 4 people on the right were pro net neutrality, and this is so okay. Let's talk about what's coming next, right? So, given literally like probably 90% of consumers are like, no, don't repeal this. It still got repealed. So, in the coming couple of months, I'm hoping that Congress will overrule it because they can do that. So, it's still like the fight's not over. You can call your congressman and hopefully congressman, congresswoman, and they'll overrule it. There are more than two
that's
genders.
the hope. That's the very big hope.
Does anybody think I'm actually hopeful on that? I think it will happen. I think this is like way too dear to people for them to let it go.
Yeah.
I hope something is done. I don't know.
I really hope. So that guy, the attorney that the chairman of FCC is, how do you pronounce his name? Is it Ajit?
I think I say Ajit Pai. I don't care. Like, you know what I mean? This guy has none of my respect.
Let's call him lowercase a. How about that?
Yeah. Can we just call him scumbag? Just call him scumbag McGee, man. No, what's like the word? There's a word for when like advertisers just completely, what do you call? Anyway, the guy's a freaking loser, man. He's a loser.
Yeah. So one of his not biggest, but one of his arguments against net neutrality, because I've listened to some of what he had to say, was that it's, putting the internet in the free market really does encourage investments and will improve overall internet. So those are like the two things like that. And also it sounds appealing, but like do you guys think that it really will, like we really will see investors being more encouraged to invest into businesses that are affiliated with the internet?
How would that happen? I don't understand what the drive is there.
I don't get his point there.
Yeah.
Like, what I don't know. I literally have no idea how he's connecting those two. Like, anybody get that or?
I mean, no, I don't. But I mean, like, if I were to try, I think what he's thinking is like just the idea of like government being detached and businesses having full control. Like, businesses will or investors will be like, oh, you have more control now. There's much more money to be made here, which there definitely is much. Yeah, and that's really this whole big divide with this net neutrality. We're really separating the rich even further from, the average person, like, and they're just, it's just like this without net neutrality, it is benefiting people, but the rich, it's gonna be the rich, like. But the majority is going to get screwed. Like 99% of us, probably even more than that, are going to get screwed.
That's what happens when like right now the Senate is like fully. They're like, what is it, 2/3? They have 2/3. The Republicans have 2/3 of the Senate, I think. I think all of like the government is just gonna start going towards the rich get richer because that's all they want. Is they're in there to help themselves. They're not in there to help us. They're in there to create things so they get less taxes, right? They're just doing anything to maximize their own profits. Yeah. People have been like writing about how trash our government is lately, and I just couldn't agree more. It's so bad, man. It's so bad.
Yeah, we are definitely in the worst timeline.
Yeah. It's crazy, man. How is anybody supposed to succeed? Like, ever?
Yeah. It's really bad, but I mean, hopefully, like, some of the things we talked about, I mean, what would help you guys understand net neutrality a little bit more, especially hearing from the opposite side of it. I still feel like overall, we should be under net neutrality considering these things, but, we have to step into it open-minded. What do you guys think?
I mean, all of us definitely are stepping into this open-minded.
I mean, honestly, back to my point that I made earlier, like if I did have 20 ISPs to choose from, I'd be like, okay, yeah, we can get away without net neutrality. And you bring up a great point, Terrence, about like they might all, all 20 ISPs, they might all just raise the prices. But I don't think when you have that many, it won't be such a problem because there's always going to be that one ISP that's lacking customers, that's lacking, market dominance, and so they're going to lower their prices, and then it's just going to be like a domino effects of everyone just lowering their prices. So I don't know.
I think it's like first of all, I can never see 20. If it was 20, that's like different. I think it'll be 3 to 5.
It's a very hypothetical, but yeah.
So what we have now is like, we can talk about phone lines like AT&T, Verizon, right? All those, T-Mobile, all the big boys. They hold an oligopoly. They all work together to screw us. They all work together to make sure their prices are in line enough for them all to be making an insane amount of money. And it's kind of funny that nobody cares about what they do because they throttle you. They don't care. And no one seems to care about that, which is weird. I don't know why people care less about that, but I guess it's just because I don't ever find myself in a situation where I'm on my phone furious that I'm getting throttled or whatever.
I mean, I think it's because, like, the majority of what I want to do on my phone has to do with the internet, and, like, it's just going to make things worse now. Because I think the phone carriers are even realizing internet's where the money is.
Definitely.
But they have no control over doing anything with that other than capping it. But like and phone is a good example because actually that's under Title I if I'm not mistaken, utility.
Yep, there we go. And I mean, I don't know, like who care? Like that's the thing. Now I'm kind of like second guessing myself. If I don't care about my phone, what makes me think I'm going to care about this? Like, am I just hyping myself up because other people are caring? I don't know. It just seems like everybody loses in this situation.
You're in the demographic of where you use your computer more than you use your phone, maybe.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. True.
And like I'm bringing back my point. Like, I mean, how much of your phone do you use internet on? Like, what do you like? Isn't it the majority of what you do on your phone? Like,
Well, yeah,
other than making calls and
Instagram.
stuff, but like, I mean,
Like I'm always in between Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, and Hacker News. Like those are my main ones.
what happens with the internet is going to affect what you're gonna be doing on your phone now too.
Oh, you're so like. But do you consider like these AT&T? Okay, first, so let's talk about it because these phone carriers have been doing this for a while already, right? Like they throttle you after, like, let's say you use 2 gigabytes on your plan of data, which means accessing the internet. They're technically an ISP, right? Like in a way.
Are you talking about phone carriers?
Yeah, like are they not in a way?
Yeah, I would say they are.
Well, no. I just realized they're throttling everything.
Yeah. I think the intention of like, throttling people for the sake of because they have the power to and they want more money. I think that's the concept is going to be the same with the internet. Yeah, I agree in that sense.
Yeah. So as long as they're not specifically throttling particular companies, then I think it's fine. Right, that's the way to go.
I'm gonna pull up like some. So there already have been like a lot of cases where companies on the internet, regarding the internet, have tried suing each other or blocking stuff. But they were overruled by FCC because it wasn't allowed. But like some of these are pretty scary, like stuff. Like we're talking about complete censorship of certain websites and stuff. So I really feel like. The internet is going to be on a different, like, we're going to see things on a different scale. Like, we're going to see things that are much more serious. Like,
what really, 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 really scares me is that, okay, so Trump appointed this guy, right? Ajit Pai. Now, and Trump is always, like, tweeting about how he wants to take ESPN. He tweeted about how he thinks ESPN should be off. Like, you know what I mean? CNN should be not allowed. So what if he starts like collaborating with Ajit to just straight up block fake, quote unquote fake news that he doesn't like? That is straight up that's censorship at its finest.
That's super scary. Yeah.
That's.
I hope there's something in place to block him, but yeah, that's super scary.
Oh my god, man!
If the president can just pay an ISP to just block something.
Well, dude, he can put out an executive order, and then that's just in place, right? Like he can do whatever he wants. Basically, it's up to him to enforce it too.
I think executive orders have to pass through the 2 other houses too.
Executive orders have to pass through the 2 other houses as well. What?
Which apparently is not that hard.
Wait, hold on. Executive. I gotta look this up, man. Executive.
Yeah, I thought he can't just issue something. It has to pass through the 2 other houses.
Man, you would think I'd remember this stuff. No, because I thought the whole point of an executive order is that he can just do it. No, they can overturn it. No, they can overturn it. They don't have to pass it. I think that's how it goes. It's like you know what I mean. He can do it until they say no.
Okay, that might be true.
Yeah, well, so let's say that is the case.
But either way, there's a process, yeah. But, I mean, just giving so much power to these guys.
Yeah, man. We need a new revolt. Man, imagine we just start our own little revolution. The DevWars government. Let's go. 22 viewers. We out here.
If he was able to get net neutrality repeal, though, I'm sure little things like blocking a website is...
it ain't, he could do it easy.
Oh yeah.
It makes me nervous, man. I don't know.
Yeah.
We can't revolt though because I'm not trying to get into guns, but like I don't know how we got here.
So actually, this is actually a great segue topic. What are you guys doing to prepare for this? Like, are you gonna get a proxy? Like, are you gonna? Are you gonna buy a bunker?
Proxy wouldn't help, right? A proxy wouldn't help.
I've heard proxy as an example of what to do, but I'm interested in what you have to say about this.
Well, I'm just like, if you're using a proxy, they're just going to see, okay, he's using a proxy. We're just going to charge him full price on all that data.
That's
if I was an ISP, that's what I would do, because if I don't know what you're doing...
Don't give him ideas, Terrence.
Okay, that's what I'm trying to do, man. I'm trying to play. He's like, oh man, this guy's got some good idea. Imagine they hire me. I'm the next guy.
Oh my god, you totally would take the job.
Yeah.
That sounds like good pay.
Figures, Terrence.
I swear I will block DevWars from being allowed to stream.
Yeah, if they pay you enough, I'm sure. I don't even think they have to pay you that much.
Nah, they're $10.
It's
I'll take
Still. More than I make with DevWars anyways.
LOL. Start off life.
Oh man.
Oh man. So, do you guys think this is a good place to end it?
But no, I thought proxy was like, so the people that torrent stuff, proxy helps because they can't detect if you're torrenting, if you're behind a proxy.
So yeah, they just don't. They see all they do is they see encrypted data going in and out. They don't know what the data is. Like, so I use a proxy. I use a VPN sometimes.
So how does the ISP know?
All the time.
So if I'm not using...
If you're not using a what?
Like, if I'm using a proxy, but using it for my current, like, package deal. Like, I'm just watching YouTube. How can they defer from YouTube to Twitch?
They couldn't. That's what I'm saying. They can't. They just all they see is that there's some data going in and out. That they'll probably, in my head, what they would do is if they don't know what you're doing, they would just charge you full price for it because
can they see that it's you though? Can they know who to allocate the charge to?
Yeah. They can see it's you.
Interesting. Well, we're screwed. Yeah. Okay. So like that ruins like a pretty.
What was good?
Okay. So what other ways can we prepare? I mean, I'm at a loss. I don't know how I can prepare. I mean,
a bunker.
I'm at a university, so watch my tuition is going to go up another $50K. I'm done. Yeah, but I shouldn't be too affected by it until I'm out of here.
Silver lining, if you do have Comcast, there's another year before they can do anything because they bought another company and they signed a contract saying that the net neutrality rules will apply throughout like this contract or something. So it lasts a year.
Oh, sweet.
That's a silver lining, I guess.
There we go. We got a year to get this stuff back, man.
My thing is like I'm wondering if there's going to be any like in terms of like stock investments. I'm wondering if there's like due to net neutrality being repealed, if we're going to see any actual jump. Because I kind of want to make this thing work for me, not against me in that sense, You
shouldn't mess with
Steven being greedy.
Well, like,
but Steven drops all of his money and
just drop it all and no, like, but I still wouldn't like even if Comcast is an ISP, I just do not like Comcast as a company. Even if they somehow make more money, I'm not putting any of my money into Comcast. Like,
so their stock is up, by the way.
Oh,
I mean a little bit.
Because I know how sometimes like things that happen and especially in office like can affect numbers and stock, and I think like this is our only way of like as a public monetizing from what they're monetizing on. But aside from
oh my god, Bitcoin's at 19K, by the way. Oh.
19K?
Oh, let's go. Let's go.
That's impossible. I don't believe
that's probably going to be the next episode. We can definitely talk about cryptocurrencies.
Oh, what?
Next.
Yeah, boy.
What?
Oh no, that's good. I mean, you guys should go buy it right now so it goes up even more.
I can't afford it.
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh.
Let's go, man. 19K. Let's go to 20K today. Let's go. Let's go.
It's gonna go to negative 20K soon.
It's crazy how like so interested everyone's into cryptocurrencies. Like my dad called me. He was like, "We have to talk about Bitcoin."
I need to put all my money in.
Yeah, he mortgaged his house. Like,
I feel like it's you should sell right now, Terrence. Oh my god.
Let me just say, by the way, I don't think this is gonna last a long time. I'm riding the wave of stupidity. I'm also, you know what I mean? A lot of stupid people think, it's just a lot of money, and I'm gonna go on that train, and I'm gonna be a part of that wave. So I'm just gonna try to ride that all the way up.
You're gonna get hit by the wave if you don't get out right now.
Dude, I think it's gonna go to 40K before it crashes at least.
My god, that's an awfully high number,
that's
dude.
a lot. Yeah, that's
awfully optimistic, my friend.
I don't know. I don't think it's gonna go past 50, but
So yeah, see, it'll have. How much do you think Bitcoin will drop to when it bursts? Probably around 1,000. I think that's what it's gonna level at. Probably
Yeah.
1 to 5K.
Yeah.
Uh,
I'm not too excited
I
about
don't know who
Bitcoin.
the hell I think I am. Like people, I'm no professional. This is like, you know what I mean. How much you think Bitcoin will drop? I have no idea. Nobody
Yeah.
has any idea.
Yeah, nobody knows actually. So I mean,
Don't
you
take
should-
any of my advice seriously. Don't invest into it if you don't know what you're doing. Okay. Don't take any. I'm not a financial advisor. Do not invest if you don't know what you're doing.
You know what I heard the other day? I was talking to one of my coworkers, and they were like, "Yeah, Coinbase used to pay their employees in Bitcoin,
That's wrong.
Oh,
Don't like that.
but now they're rich."
I don't like that at all, man. Because like you see, like those companies like Walmart, they pay some of their employees and like basically food stamps for Walmart. That's sickening. That's not right, man.
Yeah.
but I mean, Bitcoin
I guess
is like a global.
Well, no. The difference is Walmart's like an established company. This was back when Coinbase had 10 employees. You know.
Oh yeah, that's chill. Like,
Oh my gosh. I remember Bitcoin when it came out while I was in high school, and I thought it was actually really cool at the time. I don't know why I didn't freaking buy any.
yeah,
But-
dude, my friend he was telling me, dude, I remember he would have been so rich, this idiot, dude. He kept telling
What
me,
an
dude,
idiot.
you gotta buy into it.
What an idiot!
Yeah, oh my god, dude, he would have had like probably a couple $100,000 if he had kept mining.
Just $100. Just putting $100 into it. That's like
when it was at like what, $3?
$30. I mean, I think that was what it was around when I was in high school.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Lee.P. I totally respect that. Bitcoin is a speculative investment. Only invest what you can lose. That's like the golden rule. Do not invest more than you're willing to lose. Because when you lose all of it, you're gonna really go
Good
to
advice.
a new low. Yeah, and it's just like gambling. Never gamble more than you're willing to lose, man. That's
Exactly.
Yeah, say if you put 100 in 2011, you'd have 3.5 mil. Whatever.
Ooh. I feel sorry for the guys who bought pizza with their Bitcoin at the time.
Yeah, the $100 million
The bag of weed probably wasn't a good investment.
Should have, could have.
Oh, and someone just brought an actual real example of someone buying pizza for 50K worth of Bitcoin today.
Yep. The struggle is real.
Better
So if
be the
anybody
best
wants
pizza
to
ever.
donate me Bitcoin, by the way,
you're
shoot
accepting?
my address.
Oh.
No, I'm kidding. I would never.
Well, I mean, I'm accepting too.
You don't donate to me right now. In
I mean,
Bitcoin.
I'm not accepting, but I can transfer your Bitcoin to DevBits, which is it's rising.
the
Guys,
ultimate crypto.
Invest in DevBits. You heard it here today.
Oh my god, dude! What if we put an option on the site where people can buy dev bits with Bitcoin? We're doing it. We're doing it. It's official.
It's a feature.
Convert.
It's season 3 feature.
Dude, what if we get on like GDAX, so like DevBit currency? What is it currently at? We have like our own dashboard. Oh my god.
And all they have to do to get more is just watch the show, you know? And,
Oh, yeah.
And also
We're
watch our adverts.
We're so generous. We have an unlimited supply. Inflation. Great.
We're
it's
just creating
generated
more-
by literally me just
By a
typing
command
in
in the bot.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Oh, guys, come on. We can make DevBits for everyone.
No,
Okay,
so,
I think that's where we end it.
Yeah,
How
that's
long
where we're
have we
ending
been
Let's
going?
end it there before you guys take it seriously.
yeah. All right,
Because I'm
so,
starting to take myself seriously.
Final
It's
notes,
scaring me.
guys. Don't invest more than you can lose. Okay. Fight for net neutrality. Call your congressman, congresswoman. Fight. That's the best thing you can do,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that's all you can do. So do it if you can. You know?
Yes, and so like, let's end it with a positive note on. And I know you're ending it on a pretty positive note, but I want to end it on even
Okay.
more positive
All right.
note. Yeah, like I want to
Why
raise
not
the
me?
bar.
Go for it.
Five up you, dude.
Go for it.
Basically, okay, so I brought up this quote that I heard from the H3H3 podcast.
Oh yes.
The price of freedom, guys, is eternal vigilance. What does that mean? We're always having to fight for freedom, guys. So this whole net neutrality thing, like just because it got repealed, it really isn't over. Like we really could still fight, and the moment we get too comfortable is when freedom gets swiped right under us. And so just keep positive, constantly fight for the internet. We got this, guys.
Yeah.
Maybe not today, but we got it.
We lost a little bit today. It's
Just
okay.
a little bit.
We stumbled.
All right.
Yes.
Don, final words?
Yeah, I don't know. Just keep fighting. It sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, that's kind of a... So, all right. Yeah. Thanks for watching the DevWars podcast.
Buying Bitcoin, buying DevBits.
Oh,
Never close with Don again.
So what is there to say? That like that's definitely like the mic drop. What H3 said.
Yeah.
Yeah. For the record, for those who don't know what vigilance is, because I didn't either, it just means like fight. You have to. That whole sentence dumbed down is the cost of freedom is you constantly having to fight for it. You have to always be on the lookout for it, because when you're, like Steven said, when you get too comfortable, that's when the government tries to get in there and ruin your life. So yeah.
Yep.
Thanks for watching the DevWars podcast, guys.
Thanks,
we had a
guys.
blast.
Thank you.
Yep. We
Until
will see you.
Yep. And next week, guys, we're gonna do another. Wait, is it next week? Hold up. No, I misinformed you. I misinformed you. Well,
Oh my
Christmas.
I'm a bad person. No, enjoy your holidays, guys. Our next podcast isn't going to be until January 6th. And if you need to see the full schedule, we have posted it on our Discord. It's discord.gg/DevWars.